Breaking news! A second dog has been tested positive for cocaine. Wait, no, sorry, I mean coronavirus. Yes, Covid-19. That's right. But please, don't be alarmed. Don't be alarmed. Before you chuck your dogs out of the house, I should clarify, okay? They have not been proven to be a source of contagion. Okay, so this case, the second dog, was a German Shepherd from the Pok Fu Lam district in Hong Kong. That place just wants to be poked fun at. Okay, so what happened is this second dog has been shown to have the COVID-19 virus, but there are no signs that the dog is sick. Okay, showing no symptoms. The first dog was a Pomeranian, a 17-year-old Pomeranian who didn't quite make it, but not because of the virus. Okay, so yeah, don't worry. Thousands of dogs have been tested and are currently being screened, and majority of them do not show signs and do not have the COVID-19 virus. But if you do suspect that your dog has may have caught the COVID-19 virus off you, then by all means send them to get tested if those facilities are available to you. And if they're positive, they'll probably hold them in quarantine for a little bit. But please don't be alarmed, okay? And don't abandon your dogs, okay? They are probably a better source of comfort right now, as they are not a source of COVID-19. Okay, so most likely they're catching it probably from us or something. So yeah, just take note, because to be fair, animals have been having coronavirus infections, I should state, for as long as we know, probably longer. Okay, like for instance cats. Like I mentioned in a previous podcast, cats can contract feline infectious peritonitis, which is caused by a coronavirus. So not COVID-19, but another strain. Okay. So no, don't worry, that's not my cat fact for the day. I just wanted to remind you, to let you know that yes, coronaviruses in animals are not uncommon. Okay, and it's theorized that this current COVID-19 jumped from a bat species, okay, to humans. So yeah, just be careful, especially with feline infectious peritonitis, because it's quite serious. The fatality rate is quite high, 95%. So if you suspect your cat has this disease, FIP, please send them to get tested. Yes, but don't worry, do not be alarmed. Okay. Now today's cat fact is also by a guy that is currently working to fight this feline infectious peritonitis. He's a man by the name of Peter Cohen, and he's got a really cool house. Look at this guy. Yes, that's him, Peter Cohen in the flesh. Okay, so this guy is a home builder, and he adopted a couple of cats, just a few. So a few being 15. Yeah. So he decided that he would turn his house into a cat paradise. Look at that. I figured it would be better shown in a video. Right, there you go, Peter Cohen. Okay, so he created a house full of ramps and slides and ladders and mazes and, you know, all the things a cat could ever want and dream of. Oh, look at all those cats. Oh. Right. What a cool guy. So yes, he's currently taking in adopting cats, and I think he's up to about 22 now, last I heard. But yes, that's a fun fact for the day. Look at that, and it looks like a pretty nice place to live in. Just, you know, more for cats, not so much for humans. All right. Okay, let's move it along. Boop. Our Korean lesson. How is your Korean? 어떻게? How's it coming along? You're a Hangul expert by now. Okay, so I figured we've pretty much covered most of the typical, you know, phrases, everyday phrases that you would use, and maybe some phrases for travelers. You know, like or the yayo, where is this, and all my yayo, how much, that kind of thing. So I figured we moved on to something a bit more interesting. Yeah, probably something you would hear more often in your K-dramas. Things to do with interpersonal relationships. Yeah, so I think sarang heyo is probably it's not enough to cut it. You gotta lead up, you gotta build up to it. Right? So I figured let's do some compliments. Okay, so today's is one, but first we must decipher it. Decipher the Hangul. Alright, so your reading skills coming along nicely. Okay, what's this one? So it's supposed to be a square. I rounded it off a bit, but square is M. The mouth. Get it? M, M, M. Okay? What's this one? To the left. It is an A-O sound. O. E-O. O. Okay? M-O. Okay, and what is this one? So typically it's an S, but when it's sitting down there, it's more of a T. So this is a mot sound. Right? Hence the little Mothra down there. Okay? Mot. Okay, next. What's this one? Little headless guy. It's a J sound. J. J. Okay? G. I. Remember? G, 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 G. Yeah, you know the song. Okay. Moving along. What is this one? The L. Come on, you know this one. It's a N sound. And this is an E. So, ne. Okay? Now if you're fluent in your Japanese alphabet, you can guess what this one is. Okay. And of course, the politeness syllable. Come on, you know this one. It's yo. Yo yo. Okay. Now I should mention now that yo is it's like kap or ka in Thai. It's something you can tag on to any sentence, and it makes it more polite. Okay. So if you wanted to just say the informal version, you can just lose the yo. In most cases. Some cases. Yeah, it's hard to tell with Korean sometimes. Okay, yeah, just FYI. Okay, anyway, let's put it all together. Mochi ne yo. Mochi ne yo. Okay, so what does it mean? It means you look great. Cool, right? Alright, so you can go around and say, hey, mochi ne yo to your Korean friends. Okay. Now another thing to note is if you literally translate it, it just means cool or great, great looking. It doesn't. There's no U. So in Korean language, they don't usually put a U in there, whereas in most other languages you would have a second person pronoun, like the you or the your. So in Korean, it's not so common. They just assume that the statement made is addressing the person that is hearing it. Okay, or they would usually say things like our or we more than they would say you. Okay, I think it's very communal spirit, a bit like Japanese, I suppose. Okay, so again, mochi ne yo. You look great. Okay, you can pair it up with your sarangheyo. Okay, yeah, just don't go around saying sarangheyo, please. All right. Yes, so you may pick up some of these phrases. I'll work in a couple more of these compliments, and yeah, let's hop to the next one, which is our rabbit fact. Rabbits, mustn't forget the rabbits. Okay, so look at this hairy little hair. Get it, hairy hair. Okay, so rabbits. Fun fact: they need to be brushed. Yeah, it's not really a fun fact. It's kind of like work, chores. Oh, I already gotta feed him and clean his poop. Now I gotta brush his hair. Yes, because rabbits shed like crazy. Okay, they do. So try to get one that's maybe a little bit shorter in hair, but they keep growing hair, so you gotta groom them. Because they, like cats, can develop hairballs. Okay, but the problem is, unlike cats, they can't cough up the hairballs. Right, so if a rabbit gets a hairball, you gotta take him to the vet so they can surgically extract, or I'm sure they use forceps or whatever to pluck out the hairball. So before it gets to that stage, please brush. You're gonna need to brush them hairy hairs, hairy rabbits. Okay, now by request, a good friend listener Andrew, he wants a little bit of coffee culture. Okay, so let's talk about the history of coffee. Do you know your coffee history? Well, to be fair, nobody really knows the history of coffee. Nobody knows how or when coffee was discovered, but there are many legends. No, I'm not going to talk about Arabica or Robusta, they're just different species or whatever. Okay, so the history of coffee. No, wrong, not this coffee. Real coffee. Okay, I'm just kidding. This is real coffee, guys. Yeah, now while you're sipping your Dalgona coffee, let's talk about the legend of how coffee came to be. Okay, so in Ethiopia, the legend is that a man by the name of Kaldi, the legendary Kaldi, he noticed that after eating berries from a certain tree, his goats were becoming very energetic, jumping around like crazy, and they didn't want to sleep at night. So he told, like most sane people, the abbot. And the abbot, like most sane people, in abbots, you know what abbot is, right? Like a monk. So he was staying at a local monastery. As they do, the abbot went and made a drink from the berries. As you do, right? Because, hey, it's making my goats crazy. Let's try it. Maybe it'll make us crazy. Ha. Alright, okay. And he made a drink from the berries and found that it kept him alert through the long hours of evening prayer. Okay. So he shared his discovery with the other monks at the monastery, and knowledge spread of the energizing berries. Okay, and there you go. It spread to the Arabian Peninsula, and it became what it is today. Again, just a legend. No one knows. Okay, so from there, then there's of course records of coffee cultivation and trade. By about the 15th century, coffee was being grown by humans in the Yemeni district of Arabia, and by the 16th century, it was known in pretty much a lot of the civilized world: Persia, Egypt, Syria, Turkey. And it wasn't just enjoyed in homes, but also in kopitiam, public coffee houses. Okay, so it became quite popular and caught on, and people started drinking this fancy special beverage called coffee. Okay, and engaging conversation, all that stuff. So then coffee houses started to become a thing. Okay, and then eventually it found its way from Arabia to Europe, as you do. So European travelers found out by the 17th century, and they took it back to Europe, and of course it became popular there. So initially, I think the Europeans were probably a little bit suspicious of it, calling it the bitter invention of Satan. As you do, everything new is Satan. Yeah, whatever. So it was condemned in Venice, in Italy, in 1615. The controversy was so great that Pope Clement VIII was asked to intervene, and he tasted the beverage himself, and he found that the drink was so satisfying that he gave it his approval. There you go. How's that? Going against popular opinion. Yep. So there you go. That's how it spread, and so it began to grow in Europe, and people started having it for their breakfast, as opposed to the usual beer and wines, for breakfast. Okay, so they found that instead of being drunk and slovenly throughout the day because you're drinking beer in the morning, if you have coffee, you can be alert a bit longer. Maybe you can get to work. Yes, and so that's kind of become what it has today. So people everywhere around the world now enjoy coffee. Okay, it's a favorite drink of the civilized world, as Thomas Jefferson put it. There you go. So as for the beans and all this fancy stuff to do with coffee, basically you're getting a different strain of bean from a different part of the world. That's what gives it its name, right? Whether or not you can taste the difference, whether you like it different roast levels, it's just how it's cooked. Gives it a different taste. If you like yours bitter, if you like yours sweet, you like yours fruity, with a bit of crunch. I'm kidding, though. People don't eat the beans. Okay. It's just the way it is. Okay. Now a bit of recent coffee fun. Yes. We're talking about Dalgona. So that's the trend at the moment. In case you have, been hiding at home and living under a rock. Actually, I have. Yeah, I've been staying at home, living under a rock. Yeah. Okay. So yes, I'm sure you've heard of this Dalgona coffee, but yeah, if not, there you go. That's Dalgona coffee. What is Dalgona coffee? Pray tell. Okay. So it's pretty much it's an iced coffee concoction. And apparently it wasn't invented recently. It's been around for some time. They were making it in Macau, but it was recently popularized by a Korean YouTuber, I believe. Yeah, pretty much he said, yeah, here's what you do: you get some coffee, and you get some sugar, and you put some hot water, and you beat the crap out of it. No, whisk it, whatever. So that it's nice and frothy, and then you just dump it on top of a glass of milk, cold milk, hot milk, whatever you like. There you go. So it's popular because it's tasty, but it's also really easy to make. Yes, I will show you how easy it is to make. Ha ha ha. I'm joking. I'm not. But what I'm showing here is if you want to go next level up, enhance your Dalgona coffee skills, you can try some other blends. Oreos, a bit of cocoa powder, or I don't know, Nutella. Yeah, you should try some Nutella. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, please go and experiment, because yes, it's a fun little thing to do while you are stuck at home. Only another week or so now, guys. Yeah, hang in there. Okay, I will leave you with that for today. Thank you for listening, and signing out today, Sam. I will see you tomorrow. Okay, so stay home, stay safe, stay healthy, and love your dogs, please, and cats, and rabbits, and whatever other pets you have, because they're just whatever. Okay, toodles, bye bye. 안녕.